All right. Well, hey everybody, welcome to the weekly positive message at the uh, at the blind spot in Jewish Treehouse. Um, it's been a pretty long week, I think, for everyone. It's been one heck of a week, but it's getting better. It's a new week now, so things will turn around. They always do. Um, and I apologize for not doing a weekly positive last week, but I was still kind of uh, figuring things out with the Kundalini situation. I recorded and posted here, but I did it for my doctor to show her and him uh, what I was, what the symptoms and everything. Yeah. So this weekly positive message, um, I was talking to a friend, and I've been talking to friends about what I've been kind of been going through in a spiritual way and that kind of thing, and everything my mind goes to now is it's talking about bubblegum, and uh, somehow spirituality comes into the mix. I don't know why, but it just does. I don't know, and that kind of gets me wondering if that's always on my mind or uh, it's just something that's been integrated into my thought process now. So I'm always looking for it now. So um, before my near-death experience, I, I, I looked for things, but I wasn't as consciously aware of things now, like I am now. So if I was looking for something and it happened, then I was like, oh yeah, God's talking to me, or or my angels or whatever, Um, but in the normal day to day, I didn't see things, you know, in a spiritual way. And then when I got saved and baptized and all that, and had my first kind of spiritual experience during prayer and worship, and it like blew my mind. And the synchronicities and all that, I didn't, I knew, but I always just said it was the power of prayer. Ask and you shall receive. So it says, right? So anyways, I was talking to a friend and we got into a kind of a spiritual uh, thing about he wanted to know uh, what it does. Like he's like, I understand what the Kundalini kind of thing is, but it's like, what does it do? Like I think he was maybe thinking it was a spiritual, some kind of spiritual power like psychics or telepathy or something. No, some people can have those gifts, I guess, but it's it's kind of what you're available for. I think it's and since I'm kind of a mind person, I'm always deep in thought and always thinking about how to solve problems and logistics and how to make things that are bad, uh, how to kind of organize things to make it better, and that's just how my mind works. And now that I'm aware of things more than I used to be, which is extremely, extremely annoying sometimes because being a blind person, my senses are already heightened. Because that's my biological uh, guard, protection, and so my hearing and my smell, and physical sense has heightened, but with the Kundalini, it's even more. It's like uh, like 2.75% more sensitive, and it can be irritating. Right? Yesterday, we went to celebrate my mom's birthday at a restaurant, and I haven't been to a restaurant in at least 2 years, if if longer. And I turned to my brother and I said, "Man, it's freaking loud in here," you know. And I was thinking, all those times I went to a bar or I went to a restaurant or I went, somewhere noisy, and when I could see, and before all this stuff, I really didn't pay attention to the noise. Like my brain would just fade it out. But now I can't really fade it out. So, I mean, I haven't learned how to fade it out, but maybe I'm not supposed to. I don't know. But I could feel uh, the mood and people, and that's kind of new. I mean, I could always I've always had some sense of empathy. But as a blind person, you can't see facial expression, and you can't look at people's eyes, and the way they're holding themselves. So I thought, I could probably try to recognize how people are feeling by the tone of their voices, and that worked for a while. But now it's just it's like an energy I feel, and it's yeah, when you're trying to eat food and that stuff's coming at you, you're, it's like, come on, go. I would eat first. And it's not like I'm feeling spirits or those kind, entities, whatever they're called, energies. It's just people. So, um, and it's annoying when you're trying to eat a meal. I couldn't imagine what it's like to be a psychic person or a medium or something who listens to people on the other side and whatever, and they're trying to eat a sandwich. Like, I'd just be like, I think I would be like, shut up, give me 5 minutes. I'd be like Whoopi Goldberg and the ghost. Shut up. Um, yeah. So this weekly positive message uh, is about spirituality. So you don't have to be religious, and if you are, that's good, because I believe that there's religions are doorways, and each door leads to God or the Creator or whatever your religion prefers to call the Creator of the universe and everything in it. Um, but I don't like to call it God, because that's just like a title, like like Mister or Mrs. You know, where God is it's more than the title, because it's everything. It's God is in the air you breathe. God is in the clothes you wear. God is in your heartbeat. God is in you know um, the ground you walk on, and the clouds you watch, and the breeze that blows, and the birds that chirp. God is everything. So, in my opinion, I mean, what I've experienced, it's everywhere. It surrounds us, and it's within us. Now, I think that's where they came up with the word spirit or soul. That's the God part of you that we have a hard time understanding and connecting with. And I still argue with it. You know, long story. Maybe someday I'll tell you about. Oh, I think maybe I did if you go back and look at my Blue Orb story after my NDE, that I figured out that wasn't an angel or something. That was my spirit, my soul, and yeah, it was kind of confusing because I didn't know what to call it. I didn't. It didn't tell me a name. It didn't. It didn't even speak. You know, if it did want to communicate, which I think I only did twice, it did it in like calligraphy writing, and like a book, and it looked like old writing, but it wasn't on paper. It was just, like like it was digitally grafted or something. It was weird, but and so if I asked it a question, it wouldn't tell me in writing. I would just know the answer, and I didn't know what the hell I thought. So I'm like, it's just my thoughts. This, you know, well, duh. That's how your soul. Uh, it's not separated from you. It's you. But I didn't know what it was. I thought that it was the Holy Spirit, or it was an angel, or it was, I didn't know what it was. Anyways, well, sorry. So the doorways, all religions, I believe, and all spiritualities, they lead to a doorway, and then behind the doors is where God lives, and God doesn't give a crap. I'm calling it God again, but um, I don't want to call it it. Um, God doesn't care what doorway you choose, as long as you choose one. Go find God. It wants you to, because it wants you to understand. At least, have a curiosity, or at least have uh, you know, a potential, um, uh, what do you call it? Not like, oh, like a possessive. Like God wants you to be possessive with your relationship. I know that. And how many times does God have to put things in your life to remind you, hey, here I am. You just get a feeling like, I've drove by this church probably 1,000 times and never went in it. I wonder what the people are like. Those kinds of things are in your mind. And you might have a guilty conscience because you never went in just to check it out. You know, and that's God saying, here I am. And it doesn't have to be a church. I'm sure it's not a Mickey D's or a Pizza Hut, uh, but it's going to be somewhere. And then things happen, even when you're not looking for it. So the doors can just smack you in the face sometimes, which is pretty cool. Um, that's kind of like the Kundalini happened to me, just smacked me in the face. And nobody warned me about it. In 11 years, nobody could tell me what it was. And then I just got tired of not knowing what's going on with me, and I didn't want to spend my last days on this planet not knowing what was wrong with me, and then all of a sudden I'm gone. And then, I'm back on the other side, and I'm like, what did you figures tell me? Nobody could tell me what was wrong. So, yeah. Anyways, so the doors all lead, all spirituality, it just depends on which one you choose. And if you don't choose one, you kind of grow up, uh, looking at a door. You still have to open it. So let's say you grew up in a Christian church, and you were always interested in Buddhism, or you were always interested in Islam, or you were always interested in uh, Judaic uh, religion, or whatever, many ancient religions before the modern ones. And you're like, well, you know what? I grew up Christian, but I'm gonna go check out these other things. And that's pretty much what people do when you get older. You know, if you grow up in a church, you want to see what the other spiritualities are about. At least you get to listen to some new stories. it, it wouldn't be a waste of time because at least you get to listen to some new stories. And if you're like me, you take a lot of the stories and you kind of see the similarities of them, and then you get the best messages, and then you store them in your mind, and then later down the road, if you're able to help somebody um, using a metaphor from those stories or a personal, experience that you had, kind of similar to those stories, and you use it to help somebody. That's kind of where I'm at with my life. I want to take what I'm learning and what I've learned to make people feel better or to help somebody if I'm able to. You know, I just I just wish I would have known somebody like me when I was going through all this crap. It would have saved me a bunch of time. And I should have turned my do not disturb on, but I was in a hurry because I was late. So I apologize for that. All right. Well, I hope I finished what I was trying to say with the spiritual doors, but yeah. And if you haven't chose one, don't worry, because eventually a door will find you, even if it's on the other side. But I don't know much about that, so don't take my word for that. But it's going to be one of those choose a door, hurry. And God will tell you. Now's the time. Choose a door. No, just don't be a lost soul. That's my only. That's my only advice. Eventually, you're going to have to find a way to have a relationship with the universe, with the creator of the universe. Somehow, yeah, you don't have to be best friends. And, and I don't know very many. I don't know any people I've ever heard of that actually talk to God. You know, the closest thing we have as humans is our spirit, our soul, and we can talk to it, and hopefully it transfers the message, to the creator. So, um, yeah, I'm always wondering, is my spirit a tattletale? No. Why would the spirit have to be a tattletale? God knows everything. You know, it's kind of what makes your heart beat? Well, your brain. Well, then what makes your brain make your heart beat? I don't know. My heartbeat makes my brain make my heart beat. Yeah, okay. That's not a boomerang I would want to play. So then where does the energy come from? Has to come from somewhere. Maybe it comes from your toenails. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Better stop clipping those things, huh? Don't take my advice on that one either. All right. Well, hey, thank you for visiting Joey's Treehouse, and we'll talk next week. Hopefully, I'll have an even better message for the week. But maybe I'm speaking through uh, to you from uh, the door, the doorway. Make a choice. It's your time. You don't have to go to a building to have a relationship with God. You just have to want to have a relationship with God. You want to understand. That's all you have to have that in your heart in its purest form, in its most curious and purest form. and things will happen. And you won't even know where all this coming from. Well, it's in your heart. You asked us to come show you stuff, and now we're showing you. So you say, hey, God, I'm not sure what doorway I'm supposed to choose here, but uh, the dude on the YouTube channel said something about finding a door. Well, I don't know where to look for one, to choose one. So can you help me out? Bang. 10 minutes later, you get a phone call from a friend. Hey, I'm going to a dance tomorrow. You want to go with me? What? And then you end up going to a church dance, and then you meet a girl or a guy or whatever, and next thing you know, you're sitting in the pew listening to stories, and you're like, wait a minute, how did I get here? Weird, weird stuff like that starts happening. Coincidence. Yeah, there's no such thing as coincidence in my world anymore. All right. Well, love you. Namaste. God bless, and be careful because the Creator's watching you every second. He's he, Santa Claus ain't got nothing on the Creator, man. But see, God doesn't judge us while we're here, and I don't think God judges us anyway, unless we hurt somebody on purpose. That messes with His plan. All right, I'm done talking. Have a good week, everybody. Bye bye.